Yo, 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 once again, what's up? What's up? What's going on? Who's doing meditation? Who's doing it? Who did it yesterday for 3 minutes? Who's gonna do it today for possibly 3 minutes? Who's actually gonna do it? 0 people? Oh fuck. You better do it. You have no choice. You gotta get it going. I'm doing an hour. I did an hour yesterday on the root chakra. That's how it works. We do it. We just do it. Okay? So today you're going to do it. If you're watching this today, somebody's watching it, there's views. So if you're watching this today, if you're watching it now, that means you're going to do your 3 minutes at least. Unless you're more advanced, then do whatever you can, do more. But if you've not really ever done meditation before and you're just getting started or you're just considering it and you're actually watching this video, guess what? Today's the day. You have no choice. You do not even have a choice. It's not an option. Today you're doing it. 3 minutes. You're putting the headphones on, you're going to YouTube, you're typing in meditation music, you're putting it right to the end for 3 minutes. You're putting your fucking eyes shut, you're putting a rolled up t-shirt over your eyes, you're laying back and you're letting the shit happen. You're breathing into it, you're allowing the shit, you're noticing the thoughts. You're actually going to do it. That's all there is. There's all that there is. You have no choice. Otherwise end this video right now. Like fucking you're absolutely banned. Unless you do if you haven't begun yet doing your meditation, today is your first day. Or you need to fuck off. Seriously, fuck off. Like, go watch a fucking prank video. That's what you get. Literally go to TMZ.com and fucking watch gossip. Go watch reruns of fucking Gossip Girl. That's what you get right now. Unless you do your 3 minutes meditation. You can go do it and come back and watch. Pause the video, or if it's live stream, go do your 3 minutes and come back. That's cool. You can do that. But if you don't actually do it, you need to fuck right off and watch Gossip Girl, or watch TMZ, or watch the Kardashians. That's your shit. That's what you're going to get in life. You're a fucking spectator. You're a fucking spectator in life. You're always going to be a spectator. You're a fucking leaf in the wind, and that's all you're ever going to be. And don't fucking watch my shit. Don't come near me. You're all fucked up. You need go take pills. Go to your doctor and say you're sad and get pills. That's your life. That's my recommendation. I have nothing else to say. Or you can actually begin. Yeah, you can actually do it. You can actually get started. That starts with 3 minutes. I'm actually 3 minutes in right now to this fucking video. So that was 3 minutes. You could have just gone and done it. You could have just gone and done it, and when I first opened the video up, now you'd have been done. Now you could just sit back and enjoy me talking shit. But instead, if you're a fucking idiot, you didn't. Now you need to go do it. But it's like, that's what's up, like that's the truth. What's up, dude? What's up, Matthew Cherry? Thank you. You've been liking a lot of my shit, so I appreciate that, man. Welcome to the party. Let me know, anyone, if you've actually done your 3 minutes of meditation, or you're actually interested to get started, or if you actually need like some type of like practical encouragement, like literally, Luke, can you please tell me like what exact video to watch or something like that? Like, I will aid in that. I will aid and support in some way of actually trying to like encourage the person to literally get themselves begun on this meditation path. So I'm all for that. Like, I'm all for like whatever can actually get you beginning. What I'm not supporting is people who are playing a make-believe game where they pretend that they're going to actually begin in meditation, or they're going to actually begin to like invest in themselves or improve or something. I'm not for make-believe. I'm not for a fantasy world. Okay? So I'm not for just like enabling someone to carry on propping themselves up as if it's going to happen. Like, oh, I know he really loves me. I know he's going to marry me someday. No, shut up. That's not happening. You need to stop living in a fantasy world. I know if I just be nice to this girl and one day she'll know how nice I am and she'll fall in love with me. No, no, stop that shit. That's not how it works, right? You need to actually begin. You need to actually begin today. Like, that's how simple it is. Like, I could probably make these videos not just till the end of the summer, but I could probably make them till like probably the end of the decade. Literally, I could probably make these every day till the end of the decade. That's another 2 years, and it still would like just be getting started. People would still be like, I don't know. I don't think I really need to get started yet. I think I'll wait another year. Like, because as I said yesterday, the bar's so low. It's it's basically on the ground. The bar is basically on the ground. So if you invest a little bit, you will immediately rise way above the rest. And people will think you're like a magical fucking wizard. They'll be like, "Oh my God, you're a wizard." Like, and then you can just tell people whatever you want. Like once you invest a little bit, it'll be so mind-blowing for people. You can tell them that like you're literally Jesus, or you could tell them like fucking space aliens gave me magical powers, and people will be like, "Oh, really? Like, wow, maybe that's true," because they just can't conceive of a situation where you would have actually invested 3 minutes into yourself. The average person can't conceive that. So that's how it works. Like, this is actually how it works. And it's like, oh yeah, I was thinking something else earlier too, because someone was like complaining to me about Dan Bilzerian from like the Instagram guy. They're like, he's such a dickhead. He's such an idiot. Da da da. I was like, oh really? Like, well, how is he a dickhead? Like, well, he uses women. Does he? Like, how does he use them? Because from what he says, he said, if anything, they're probably using me. He said, really? Like, they come on my fucking yacht, they come on my planes, I buy them fucking booze and food, everything. They get to hang out with me, they get on my Instagram, they get thousands of new followers, they get tons and tons of attention from me and all my fucking Instagram followers. He's like, what the fuck do I get? He's like, I'm just sitting here, I still got to do everything. So he's like, realistically, and when I hear that, I'm like, that actually makes sense. Like, I believe it. Like, the world's so upside down. And for the guys, like for guys, maybe you don't understand this, but you really only have two choices. You can be fucking Dan Bilzerian or you can be Joe Rogan. You can be either, but you can't really be anyone else, right? You can either be fucking Dan Bilzerian, you can just be this jacked idiot running around with tons of girls, flashing fucking cash and stuff, or you can be Rogan and you can get married and have kids, but you still have to ball the fuck out. You still have to like massively, radically fucking improve yourself and constantly be pushing the fucking limits of what's possible and investing in yourself to a massive degree, right? So you can really there's just one or the other. Like you never get to be that fucking Sheldon guy from the Big Bang Theory. He's not an option. He's not a character. Like, he doesn't exist. You never get to be him. There's never going to be a day when it's going to be all right for you to just be some fucking meek loser and be like, oh, I wonder if she likes me. Nah, I just want to sit home. I just want to sit around and watch fucking The Green Arrow on fucking Netflix. Like, you can watch The Green Arrow or you can watch fucking shows for fun, but you can never just be a fucking weak loser. Like, you need to just give that idea up. You need to be a fucking boss. You can be Rogan and you can have a family and stuff, and you can just like marry one girl and you can be happy with that and like raise kids, and you can do that. That's fine. Or you can be a fucking baller and you can make fucking hundreds of millions of dollars and ball it like that. That's cool too. You can do either, right? Or other example would be like Rogan or like an Elliot Holtz or someone who, I'm just trying to example, like, you can like have a family, you can raise a family, you can marry like one girl and you can do that and that's fine, but you still have to like be a fucking beast. Like Elliot Holtz is a beast, Rogan's a beast. Or you can go the other route and you can just be like, fuck that. I just want to like run around here forever in my underwear and fucking post Instagram videos like Dan Bilzerian or fucking Jody High Roller or Hugh Hefner or whoever. You can kind of choose between those, or maybe you can find somewhere in the middle, but you can't go the other way. Like, you're never going to get to go the other way. You can never just be fucking like you can never just be one of those like dopey fucking whiny dudes from like The Big Bang Theory or like How I Met Your Mother. Like, or it's never gonna work that you can just like be the fucking the like teacher's pet in high school and like just end up being like the junior high school principal and like, well, that's gonna work. Like, in my opinion, from what I've seen, that shit does not work. Like, that shit's fantasy. You should just not. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry to say it. And maybe for the kids, if there's kids watching, like, all right, you know what? Maybe just turn it off and your parents don't want you to hear this. Okay, go ahead. But the reality of shit is fucking brutal. The reality of how life actually works, and especially as I mentioned with like Rogan and Dan Bilzerian and stuff, like especially when it comes to relationships and it comes to like male female dynamics, especially like for the male, like I'm not as sure about everything to do with the female because that's not my path. I'm interested to learn. I'm interested to hear about that from like an actual like adult female, not like social justice warrior weirdo shit. That stuff's fucking worthless and doesn't help anyone in my opinion. Maybe you think it does. Good, go ahead. I don't fucking care. But from what I've seen, it's pointless. You should avoid it at all costs because it's just fantasy. It's not going to help you. You want to actually embrace with what's actually happening and what can realistically improve your life and what can realistically improve like this whole society. And like social justice warrior type shit and like politically correct shit. Just in my opinion, maybe you have a different opinion. Okay, that's great. Go ahead. We're all entitled to our opinions. But just from my mindset, I don't I don't encourage that. I don't recommend it. I see it as being distraction only and something that I'm not going to indulge in the same way I'm not going to indulge in fucking coke. I'm not going to indulge in pills. I'm not going to indulge in mainstream media. I'm not going to indulge in fucking being like whiny and like politically correct and like that type of shit. I just see all that stuff as the wrong direction. There's nothing down there for me. In my opinion, there's nothing down there. So, but what you do need to do, what you do need to do, again, is actually invest in yourself. Yeah, and that's going to be messy. And that's going to not be politically correct. That's not going to be easy for people to handle. That's not going to be like socially acceptable to everyone around you. That's not going to be like acceptable even necessarily to like your friends or your parents or maybe even like your wife or your husband, maybe even your kids, who knows? Like you don't know. But that's your path. You actually have to embrace it. And it's it's like I can speak here to like a zero people on Instagram Live and a few people on YouTube, and I can just fire this off because I know it's the truth, and I can just keep saying it, and in 6 months or in a year or 2 years, it will just keep growing, right? It will just keep going up because I'm actually adhering to my own principles. So it will just keep getting better. It will just keep improving. Someone who's just a leaf in the wind, who's just like trying to please everyone, who's just like, oh, what's the new style? Should I put my hair like this? Should I wear that kind of shirt? Like, what did that person say? They're never going to be able to last, and they might shoot up a little bit, but they'll just fall apart, and their shit will get stupid, or they'll get bought in with like Scientology or something. Like, who knows? But they're not based on anything. It's the truth. Like, I'm just giving you the truth, and a lot of people will not want to hear it. Okay, well then you don't need to hear it. Maybe you're not ready to hear it, right? Maybe you're not ready. And maybe over time I'll be able to dull it down a bit. Maybe I'll be able to like clean it up a little bit for a more like general audience. That's possible. Maybe not, right? Maybe not. Maybe it's only for a select group, and maybe that's for the best. Scarcity and all that stuff. So yeah, so that's what's up. Um, Yo, I did an hour yesterday. Root chakra. It was fucking insane. I'm gonna do an hour today. It's like, how many more hours can I do? I don't know. Like, probably a lot. Like, how many days the average person lives for, like, I think like 80,000 days. I think I read that somewhere. Fucking hell, that's a lot of, yeah, that's a lot of hours of meditation still. And I've already been alive for a few fucking thousand days. So I still have a lot to do. But let's hope maybe someday I don't need to do an hour a day. Maybe someday I'll just, probably not though. You know what I mean? Realistically, the way I see the reality is I'll probably have to do more. I'll probably have to crank it up to two a day. That would be intense. That would be serious. Two a day. Wow. Yeah, maybe one in the morning, one in the evening. I'd have that would be insane. I would have a heart. Well, you know what? I would deal with it though. I would find a way. We all do because we all find a way to do things. And the main thing is that you not only get started, but you keep going, right? You keep going. You just keep doing it. And I actually mentioned the other day on a video, but for whatever reason, it didn't like fucked up the sound on the YouTube one. So I can just like briefly mention it again. Hopefully, it's not too overlapping for people who did see that on Instagram. But I was just like speaking of Rogan and stuff. Like I remember when I first was watching him and he was talking about like mushrooms and like plant medicine and stuff. I remember thinking like, oh my God, like what if like he's at like a party and somebody like hears about that? Somebody hears about him saying like talking about mushrooms or that he's using like psychedelics and stuff. I was like, oh my God, what isn't he on TV? Like what if they hear about that? Why won't they get mad? And now looking back, like it's so silly. Like it's so stupid. Like it doesn't make any difference. Like those other people are the ones who are insane. Like those other people who think that he's weird for talking about mushrooms and talking about DMT and psychedelics and swearing and cussing and calling out bullshit and saying like social justice warriors are fucking crazy and stuff. And like it's the other people who are crazy. It's like it's all of them who are insane. He's the sane one for talking about it because that's normal. That's how backwards everything is. Talking about psychedelics and like that type of shit, that's normal. It really is. Like that should be like your everyday. You should be willing to bring that up at random at any day and talk about like hardcore like philosophical spiritual questions and like the way I'm talking now, like matter of factly about things and just like calling it right how it is. Like, no, that's bullshit. That's not going to work. Yes, you have to behave like this. If you're not behaving like this, you're going to be fucked. Like, if you aren't engaging in this way already, you're going to pay a massive price in your life, like massive, like in all kinds of different ways. Like, you're constantly going to be off center. You're constantly going to be out of sync with like the universe and shit. Society will reward you. Society will reward you a bit and they'll clap and sing for you and pat you on the back and give you little ribbons and stuff, but you don't want that shit anyway. Their fucking little accolades are pretty much worthless unless it's actually cold hard cash. If it's actually cold hard cash, then okay, cool, take it and try and work with them a little bit. But anything else than that they have is not really any good. Like anytime society's telling you you're fucking great and wonderful, you should be concerned. Like when society's like slapping you on the back and being like you're so great and special, you should be like, "Whoa. What the fuck am I doing? Like am I doing something wrong right now because I know society's broken and now they're telling me I'm cool?" Whoa, that could be an issue, right? Like that's probably a problem. Or you need to really be careful and like checking yourself or whatever. But yeah, it's funny actually. I have one good story about this in how it doesn't make any difference like what society thinks of you, as long as you're like abiding by their like cold hard rules. Like I'm literally stopping at a red light. I'm literally paying my taxes. Like I am doing those things. Then you have to abide by a certain level of rule, right? But in general, it's not meaning anything. I can remember when I was in university, like um, one time we had to go to like these lab classes too, like on top of the regular classes. This was like an astronomy class, so like with the stars and stuff and like the planets. Anyway, so at this point I was like really trying to do like I was still trying to like go to university, but I had like switched over in my mind where I was like, okay, I can't have it matter to me what the grades are. Like the grades are zero to me now. They have to be because that's the only way I could make sense of it, right? Um, so anyway, so there was another guy in the class named Luke, and he like for whatever reason like didn't go to any of the labs. I did, like I went to them all because I was just like going through the motions of it. Anyway, he didn't go to any of them. So when the grades came back, my grade was like super low because the lab was worth like 40% of the fucking grade. And he didn't go to any of them. So my grade was super low. And it turned out it was because they misunderstood my name and his name because had the same name. So they gave me the lower mark. So one day the professor like called me up at the end of class. He was like, "Man, Luke," and he was quite cool. This professor, he was like, "Man, Luke, you like come here." He's like, "Dude, we messed up your grades, man. Like, you had a way higher grade. Like, you had like an 80, and we gave you like a 50. Like, holy shit, this is a huge problem. Like, this messed up like your whole like GPA or whatever. Like, oh my gosh, like this is such an outrage." Like he was like planning to go to like a meeting with me to like the dean or some shit. And I was like, as soon as he told me, I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's like, it's fine. He couldn't even believe it. He was like, what are you talking? What? Like, it's fine. I was like, yeah, man, it has no effect on me. Whether you give me an F or an A, I wouldn't ever let it affect me at all. It means nothing to me. It's absolutely worthless. Whatever your opinion of me is, whatever this little school's opinion or your little grades has absolutely no impact on me whatsoever. That's my criteria for success is the absolute zero effect that your institution has on me. If I can maintain that, I'm winning and that's success. I have no interest in what you think of me. I was like literally explaining this to him, and he was super cool, this guy. And he was like amazed, man. He was like, wow. He's like, I can't believe that. Like, the average person would be so freaked out and is so obsessed with their marks. He was like, this is super cool and stuff. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Put the A there then, or whatever it is. Go ahead. Like, fuck it. I don't, makes no difference. Anyway, that was an interesting story, a little bit on a tangent, but hey, the point of the story is not really matters. It doesn't really matter. You matter. Like your internal dialogue matters. Like your internal feeling of who you are, of what you have to offer. That's what matters. Not some little institution. And the same could go for like of other people. Like if you're talking with someone and they're like, "You're weird, you're stupid." It's the same shit. It's like, "Okay, my goal is to have your like I pay attention. Like if 10 people tell me like, "Hey Luke, you have like some food in your beard." After 10 people tell me that, I might be like, well, might be something in there. Might be. Maybe not, though, right? It could easily not be, but maybe. I'll consider it. So something like that I will consider. But on average, it's like, if people are like, fuck you, you're stupid, you're weird, I'm just like, opinions vary. To take Jeffy, RSD Jeffy, opinions vary. Could be not. You could change your mind. I've had people say that to me, and then like 10 minutes later, when their friend likes me, it's like the same girl will be like, "Oh, you're cool. You're so cool." Like, yeah, but 10 minutes ago you said I was stupid and weird. Now your friend likes me and you say I'm cool. So over time you realize it's not really, it's just like, there's no real substance to it. It's just like it's just a leaf in the wind. It's just kind of, and you just, eventually, it's funny, right? To some degree it's funny. You can have a laugh about it and you're just like, oh, this is hilarious. Like this is how the world works. And you can eventually just love it. Like I love it. Like it's so funny. And yeah, that's how it goes. So that's what's up. Do your meditation, get it done. Stop dicking around. You need to do it. Don't even let yourself consider the idea that you don't need to do it. You do. You have to. You have no choice. You also need to do push-ups and squats as well. You also need to eat a lot of kale. You also need to eat spinach. You also need to stop fucking watching mainstream television. You also need to stop eating processed carbs and refined sugars. Yes. Stop taking pills. Stop fucking doing coke. Stop drinking booze all the time. Yes, these are all things that must be done. They should have told you right away. Someone should have told you right away. You don't have to get married. You don't have to have kids. You don't have to go to university. You don't have to listen to your high school principal. You don't even really have to listen to your parents. You don't have to do any of those things. You don't have to play by society's rules, really, as long as you abide by the fucking laws, so you don't get in trouble with the police. But you don't have to abide by social norms. You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to really listen to almost anyone. You don't have to listen to the fucking churches. You don't have to listen to your schools. Don't even have to listen to me. Well, you do have to listen to me because, I look like Brad Pitt mixed with Tom Cruise and a little bit of Will Smith. So you have to, how could you not listen to me? Plus, I'm on Instagram and YouTube. Psh, I obviously know everything, clearly. And I have a beard, so whatever. But really, though, you don't have to listen to anyone. Like, what I would recommend, though, is that you find people who you do resonate with. And then, generally speaking, just accept what they're saying. Like, that's kind of what I did. Like, I just found eventually people who I was like, yeah, I think he's right. Or I think she's right. Like, I think that person's right. Then I just bought in. And I was like, all right, you know what? I can't spend forever looking. Like, there's some people who seem to have a grasp on things. I accept that. I believe them. Let's do it. So find people like that. If it's me, cool. Buy the fuck in and just listen to what I'm saying and be like, okay, Luke's not perfect. Yes, he looks like Brad Pitt, but he also swears a lot. He also has fucking hardly any followers. He also has no money. Um, you know what I mean? So he's not perfect, but you know what? He's got some good ideas. I'm just going to listen to what he's saying. And that's what I would do because that's what I did. And I could name maybe next time, maybe one of these times, maybe next time, I'll come on with a list because I have a list of like maybe like 40 or 50 people who I learned from, like, and I could just read the list off and be like, look, any of these people, just go listen to them. You can read their books, you can watch them on YouTube, you can listen to their podcasts. And that's generally speaking where I got a lot of my ideas from. You can just go right to them. I don't care. Skip me. Fuck it. Go right to them. You don't even, well, you kind of do need someone because it's so hard and there's so much bullshit. I would say, generally speaking, you do kind of need some kind of mentor. Like, you sort of do. You can you can probably maybe figure it out like if you live in a super peaceful environment and you can just like observe the trees and the ocean, you might be able to get like the universe might like give you its like message and its like frequency that way. It's possible, I suppose, but our world's so crooked and so broken and so damaged that you're probably going to need like hyper help. Like, you're going to need like hyper direct download from like high level sources, and then probably like supplementation and all kind of stuff. But whatever, like, if you're actually listening to this, like, holy shit, you're probably, and you actually do 3 minutes of meditation, you're like, count yourself like you're like you're basically a different species, I would say. Rogan talks about that sometimes where he says we're moving into two different species. I kind of agree. Like, we sort of are. Like, there's a species that's like trapped in the mainstream, which is, I guess, like more of like a zombie or like a robot type character who like eat processed foods and like watch mainstream television and like take pills and drink fucking booze and just zombie around. Like, that's a species. I'm not sure what you want to call that. Like, that's kind of like the former species. Like, I mean, like, I was like that for a long time. So, but and then there's another species that's like evolving into something new. So you want to become part of that, and you can do it pretty. You can get involved. You can get involved pretty simply because, as I said before, the bar is so low. So you should get started. And if you're actually able to listen to this and watch this, wow. And you did 3 minutes meditation, holy shit, you're in the club, yo. Especially if you have money. Hopefully you have money because then you can invest massively in yourself and you can just like get the best food, the best supplements, the best fucking coaches, the best products, and just massively invest. And in like a couple years, in like 2 or 3 years, you could be just a massively successful person. Like, yeah, that's how it could happen quickly if you really invest. Even if you don't have money, but your mind works properly and you have a good work ethic and like you're not like massively damaged from bullshit, you could still probably like in like 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, maybe who knows, 10 years. Imagine where you could be in 10 years. You could be a massively different person. Everyone starts from somewhere. You know what I mean? Taking it all the way back, Dan Bilzerian wasn't always a baller. Rogan wasn't always the fucking champ. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone was always winning hardcore. I certainly didn't always have a fucking beard. I certainly didn't always look exactly like Brad Pitt. Well, I kind of did always look like Brad Pitt. Although now I mix in a little more Tom Cruise. A little more, actually, lately I've been looking a lot like Denzel Washington. Okay. Anyway, that's enough. That's enough. Enough. That's 29 minutes and 30 seconds. The final message, as you know it, is get your shit together and do fucking 3 minutes of meditation today. If you don't do it, do not, under any circumstances, fucking come back and watch another video. You fucking best not. Get your meditation done and then come back. 3 times a week. You do 3 minutes 3 times a week for 3 months. That's what we're doing. So go do it. Come back next time. Talk some shit. Send me a fucking DM if you did it. make a comment. As always, peace out, everyone.